Lesson 5, I struggled to name this, but I came up with "Be kind to frogs," from the old story that a frog, if you put in hot water or warm water and start to heat it slowly, will never notice to get out. And we see this a lot in traditional APM stack monitoring of APIs, that averages are very much not your friends. Good teams do use P90 and P99 values. That's the worst 10% or the worst 1% of your results. But just by looking at averages and rolling averages, you can miss significant slowdowns. The graph I'm showing in this slide is from a large bank somewhere in the continent of Europe that we monitored. And over the course of a few months, it went from taking about 700 milliseconds, which was what the functional API call was expected to take. It's a linchpin call. It would get a list of accounts available for the consent. But over the course of several weeks, it got slower and slower and slower, but not slow enough that any particular week or day would trip their rolling average detection in their APM stack. We kept pointing it out as an outlier, and the CASK score kept getting worse and worse, but they didn't pay attention to it until we were able to show that they were consistently taking an average of over 12 seconds per call. Yes, seconds, not 1200 milliseconds, but actual 12 seconds. And that's the kind of thing that we can see. Rolling change detection can be easily fooled if you're just looking at certain types of average. We've seen this where people haven't paid attention to what the normal performance looks like and have set rolling average detection that's way higher than you would normally need. So things can slow down by an awful lot before you'll trip any alerts. And in fact, if you're just looking at a period of a day or a course of a week, we've seen APIs be functionally unavailable for hours at a time, but not trip any alerts because they're normally very, very fast, and they've set the threshold detection at a second or two. But the threshold detection is based on the average, which doesn't increase that quickly if the API is slow for just for relatively short periods compared to the rolling period. So check absolute changes and use some kind of, I would say, as we provide AI or machine learning based outlier detection, to actually look for those events or for those results that are anomalous for your system. Also see if it's regional, i.e. one data center or one cloud, or system wide, particularly if it's external access. We see this again and again with things like name resolution services. You may have too many CNAMEs in your descriptors. It's very slow to look up the location through certain types of cloud. Azure, for example, can be very, very picky about how you've set up your DNS service. Or in extreme cases, you might use a CDN service like a Cloudflare or a CloudFront, but then or an Akana, but then forget to sorry, not Akana, Akamai, and then forget to set it for your APIs. We've seen that where they have the DNS CDN service set up on their website, but it's not applied to their APIs, which are essentially doing brand new calls every time somebody tries to do an API call. So there are a lot of things to check, but you really should keep on top of them to keep away from the risk that they can impact on your services.